Des Asante here again from the Tech Muse Academy, and I wanted to take a minute to express how thankful I am that I live in the future with the rest of you all here, and we're able to do things like have conversations with folks in completely different parts of the planet from the comfort of our own homes. And case in point, I've got an opportunity here today to chat with Justus from the Netherlands, who is a member of mixlessons.com and who has just recently released a brilliant sounding record, and I've got him on the call right now to talk to us a little bit about what he's been up to. So, Justus, welcome to the call.
Good evening. Hello.
Yeah, evening for you and afternoon for me, I guess, as it is.
Exactly. It's 8:15 here.
8:15. Yeah, we're 2:35 here in Toronto time. But
okay.
So why don't we start right into it? Just tell us a little bit about who you are. What do you do musically?
Musically, well, okay, that's the interesting stuff, I guess. Well, I have a day job, but in the early morning I try to compose some tracks. And late at night as well, so a little sleep. And, well, I just finished this CD and, well, I'm trying to make more tracks and with the help of my musical friends.
Yes.
And my background is a little bit, I did a conservatorium on the saxophone, and so that's my background. And I did a course that's called the Home Studio Production.
Oh, yes.
And that's from the SIE institution, and that's a half a year.
This was a correspondence type of course, or was it in class?
It was in class, it was an evening class, and well, it's all about all the basic stuff. What is sound? What are sound waves? That was the beginning, and so really mixing and putting some sounds on the tape.
Very good. Did you find that beneficial? Like, were you starting from scratch at that point, or?
Well, yeah. Actually, I was, and it was very theoretical. So I learned a lot, but I was hoping for more kind of practical information.
Right.
Getting my hands on the knots.
Okay.
But it was really the teacher explained a lot of things, and I listened, which was very good, of course. But
it was more of a primer in the theory of things as opposed to a practical application.
Exactly.
Oh, okay. And so I take it then you learn the rest of that stuff by trial and error, like most of us do.
Well, right after that, I was starting to, with my own songs, to mix it. Mm-hmm. And I was a little bit lost. And then in a podcast, I heard you.
Okay. Which show was that?
Yeah, I tried to remember. I think one that stopped at 100 episodes, I think.
Oh, Inside Home Recording, maybe with Dave Chick.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I checked it out, your mixlessons.com.
Yes.
And that was exactly what I needed. That was not theoretical, well, a little bit of course, but also very practical.
Well, that's very good to hear, actually, because that's kind of what I was going for, hopefully. Hopefully other people feel the same way.
Yeah.
So I have to say, too, you were also not only a member at mixlessons.com, but you were my first lifetime member, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. So
all right.
You're in the club for good now.
Yeah, I know. You said you will be around for a long time because you're a young guy.
I plan on it, yes. Yeah.
So, well, I'm glad. I'm still glad. I really like it.
So you've just released this record now. In fact, I've got a copy of it here for those of you who can see the video. If indeed we release the video, I'll hold it up for everyone to check out. Beautiful artwork as well. Looks lovely. And there it is. All right. So this is called Someday. Tell us a little bit about the production of this record and what it's all about. And yeah, just give us your thoughts on that.
Well, I did it all at home. Well, not all of it, but most of it. I composed it at home. I played a lot of things myself with the keyboard in not a very professional way, but it just scratch.
Okay.
So I used all the things I had with Logic Pro. And I invited, after I had the songs ready, some professional musicians to come here and to play it. So
was this these are session players, like hired guns, so to speak, or do you guys play together on a regular basis?
No, hired guns. Well, not hired. They did it voluntary.
Oh, very nice.
Very nice.
You must be a smooth talker.
Well, I don't know. Well, I promised them lots of things.
Okay.
Which hope I do come. But well, they came here and they played, and the singer came, and the guitar player and the keyboard player. Well, actually, the bass player and the keyboard player, I just sent them the things I had without the keyboard, without the bass, and they played it themselves on in their own home studio. Okay. And it's strange how it goes these days, because the bassist was in Suriname at that time, and he did a very good job from there. And
it definitely sounds like he did a good job, that's for sure.
Yeah, but actually they haven't seen each other at all. All the musicians are in all parts of the world, and they haven't seen each other.
Wow!
And I'm working to form a band now with all these musicians playing actually together.
Oh, very good. With the same musicians on the record?
Well, I'm trying to, but some are very busy. They are in musicals and projects and on tour.
Right.
So I have to call a lot and talk smooth again.
Yeah.
To put them together. But they are all very enthusiastic and they want to, but they have obligations. So maybe I have to find for every instrument more than one player.
Perhaps so, yeah, and perhaps, sometimes that's the way it goes. But it is kind of convenient, as I sort of started the call off, that you know, we can do these collaborations virtually nowadays, which is fantastic. I mean, I've done it myself, where I've worked with musicians where I have a core band, and then one guy is, you know, across the country somewhere, but we just send him the files, he does his thing, sends them back, and as good as gold, as they say, right? Yeah. So that's definitely it's a wonderful world that we live in. We've got lots of opportunities. So you say you recorded this record at home in your house?
Well, almost. Well, let me. The singer and the guitar player, and I think everything else. I sent it to the players, and the drummer I recorded in Belgium.
Oh, okay.
Because, as you know, the drums are not that easy to do in a home studio environment.
This is true. Yeah, that's often the biggest hurdle in these home recording type of situations.
I know, and I'm living in the middle of Amsterdam, in the red light district, actually, and maybe you can hear it, but lots of noise.
Lots of action going on, eh?
Yeah, 24 hours a day.
Yeah, I believe it.
So sometimes you hear really in the background, if you really listen well, some football fans shouting, because they are all collecting here in this neighborhood. That's very funny.
Oh, yes. Yeah.
So I really have to pick the recording days, because if the Dutch elftal plays, the soccer team, then it's no go.
And you can't just hold your head out the window and tell everyone to shut up, I suppose, eh?
No. They have some beers.
Yeah, very good. So, what would you say, like, apart from, you know, this sort of cross collaboration and trying to get musicians together when they're not all in the same place, what would you say would be some of the biggest hurdles that you wrestled with producing this record?
Well, of course, composing the songs. I mean, I think you said at one point that if you write some songs and you think you have 10 good ones, you have only one good one.
Yeah, the ratio.
The ratio, yeah, that's what I remembered. So I thought in the beginning, the greatest hurdle was to actually finish those songs.
Yeah.
I mean, I hear everybody has good ideas and little beginnings, and I had that too. And I thought, well, this is time to really finish all the songs. Absolutely. So that was one thing. And
so just getting the material together, making all the final decisions as far as arrangements and so forth before you even hit the record button.
Oh yes, exactly.
Yeah,
I did. Yeah, I did it on the keyboard, and that was hard work. But then, then I found some people and I asked them, "Would you like to sing on this record?" And well, after a while, they came, and then it's all difficult to. For me, it was really my first time to really record some people.
Right.
So I was really struggling a little bit with, what kind of mic does this singer want, or is it good for? Is it a sharp mic or condensed or whatever? What is the best thing?
So this really was sort of your first kick at the can, so to speak, eh? As far as a big,
right? So
yeah. Wow, it turned out fantastic. When we're finished having a chit chat here, I'm going to play out a tune off the record. Do you got a particular favorite? Maybe I can leave everyone with.
Well, tomorrow I have a meeting with I don't know the English word, but in Holland it's called plugger. Plugger.
Okay.
That's the person who goes to all the radio station.
Oh,
with your CD, who really works for you.
Doing the PR and the promotion?
Exactly. I put in some money there because everybody told me that if you send some records yourself, that's no use.
Mm.
And so I have this meeting tomorrow because she liked it very much, and in particular the second track.
The second track,
Chemistry.
Well, maybe when we're done chit-chatting, we'll play out with that tune so people can get a taste of what you've been working on here. Because, like I say, it's rather impressive considering, like you said, first crack at it.
It was my first time recording and doing all this thing with Logic. It took me a year, actually, to really master Logic. I mean, it's a steep learning curve.
Absolutely.
You are doing Cubase, but I think that's the same thing.
They're all capable of more or less the same things nowadays. Slightly different layouts and workflows, but they're all very good. And,
but I had no history of all these things when I was 18. I'm not 18 anymore, I'm afraid.
Okay.
But
I'm not either, by the way.
But I had no history of technical experience. So this was my first time. So that was very nerve-wracking because all these players and singers, they were very good,
right?
Very professional, and get used to professional people. So I had to pretend a little bit here and there.
Oh yes, yeah, we do.
Yeah.
So you were talking about investing in a little bit of PR and promotion. What kind of plans do you have for promoting the record?
Well, I've done all the things you should do. I think I'm trying to be everywhere. CD Baby has my records, and they bring it to iTunes and Spotify and Bandcamp. So I'm all there.
Good.
That's good. That's one thing. But
that's
then nobody knows.
One. Yes, that's step two. Right.
That's step two. So I started with your site, Promotion Blueprint.
Artist Promotion Blueprint, yes.
Exactly.
Which I've kind of been, it's kind of been on the back burner for a little while, but I hope to have some time to spend more of my attention there again, because it's a topic I'm very interested in. And with that site, for me, it's more of a, I'm speaking as I learn, because I'm definitely not an expert when it comes to artist promotion, but there's a lot of cool things I'm learning about, so I figure I might as well share.
Well, it's much appreciated. But, for instance, there I came with the idea to have the cover, ask for the cover on 99designs.com.
Oh, yes. Fantastic service.
Yeah, that's why I have this sweet cover with the sea and the sand. Because I had about 89 designs sent to me. And someone in Romania made this.
Romania.
Yeah, Romania.
Very good. Again, this whole global village we live in now.
It's fantastic.
Yeah.
And and also on Facebook, I showed a lot of people what the options were. Mm-hmm. And based on those remarks, I chose this design. Well,
it definitely looks good. I would have been curious to see some of the other submissions. You said you got almost 100 of them, eh?
Exactly. Well, I'm trying to put them on the website if I have the permission of the creators.
Oh yes, yeah.
But it's so funny to see all these different designs.
So this is an example of what we call crowdsourcing. So you basically, if I understand correctly, what you've done is you submitted a competition basically to 99 Designs.
Yeah.
And for those people who don't know, you need a logo or you need some artwork done. You put up a contest, and all of these designers from all over the world will actually complete the work for you. They'll give you a final finished product, and you will have anywhere up to 100 submissions that you're able to pick and choose from, which is very cool. So you had all of these talented people out there doing the work for you, and one of them got your money.
$300.
$300, which is not bad for a professional design work.
I know. it was a good one.
Very, very good. We'll have to see if we can come up with something like that for our mix lessons community there. I know crowdsourced mixing maybe. We'll keep that in the back of my mind. I don't know.
Yeah.
That's very
cool. Your question was what is on plans to promote this CD?
Yeah.
Well, it's not so difficult. Not so difficult. It is difficult. It's not so easy. So I hired this, or not? I didn't hire her. We have to discuss the details tomorrow. I'm curious about her fee, of course.
Yeah.
But she will bring it. I'm buying her network, actually, and she goes to Hilversum. That's a place where all the broadcast has taken place in Holland.
Okay.
So, well, that's one step.
Yeah.
And I have to work hard, I guess.
I suppose you do, yeah. And I mean, one of the steps that a lot of bands take when they're promoting a record is touring, of course, and that becomes difficult if the band is not all in the same city at the same time.
I know, but I'm working on that too.
Yes, as you mentioned, yeah, and hopefully
I have
that comes together.
The singer will be there, and the guitar player, and the bass player, and the drummer too.
Oh, very good. Now, you had actually, you were saying some of these players are, they have sort of careers in their own right. I guess Britt Lenting, who's doing the vocals on the record, she's done some, what is it, like Broadway-style theatrical performances, this type of thing?
She's doing Little Mermaid, she's singing right now.
Very good, yeah. And then I think your drummer has some notoriety as well, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh, yeah.
Tell us a little bit about him.
Well, I think you know Maceo Parker, perhaps.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Well,
for those who don't know Maceo Parker, maybe just give us a little insight into who he is.
Well, he was the horn player of James Brown.
Absolutely.
With J.B. Horns, with Fred Wesley and Pee Wee Ellis.
One of the most prolific and notable sax players in the sort of R&B, that sort of genre of music.
Yeah, I know. And I play saxophone myself, so I listened to him for many, many years. And I visit all his concerts whenever he is in Paradiso, which is the famous venue in Amsterdam. It's a church.
Okay.
And you don't know Paradiso?
No.
Paradiso?
No.
Okay. Well, if you're here, you have to go there.
Yes, I'll ring you up and we'll go see a show.
Exactly. But I've seen Maceo Parker playing there, every year. He comes here every year. And with him was Jamal Thomas, the drummer.
Okay.
But I didn't know his name back then. But it turned out that he lives in Belgium. And he has a wife there, and that's why he lived there. So my co-producer, he was asking, he had contact with him because of a festival. And then he if you don't ask, you don't get it. So he asked, would you like to play on our record? Well, and he said, let me hear it first, and then I will let you know. And he said, after the first song, the same song we are going to play, hopefully, he said, I can really make it funky and nasty.
Sign him up.
Yeah. So that was really, it's my hero, and there I was working with him.
That is fantastic, and to a point that you mentioned there is, if you don't ask, you don't get, and I think that holds a lot of people back. Just the intimidation factor, perhaps the star power that some people seem to have, in some people's minds, and it's like you say, you've just got to reach out and introduce yourself, and the worst they can do is tell you to piss off, and that doesn't really hurt, does it?
Not at all.
Yeah, so that's a great story.
You would be surprised that some of these great players just sitting at home, waiting for somebody to call.
I imagine so. Not everyone is out touring the world in stadium concerts,
No, but because I thought, well, he's so good, it's impossible that he will work with us. But he was sitting at home, waiting.
Yeah, and you had good music, so a perfect combination.
Yeah.
Well, and I recorded with him the drums in Belgium, because he lives there, and that was convenient. Okay.
And that was a strange situation, sitting there and telling him what to drum.
Yeah.
Well, I didn't tell him much, of course.
Yeah, he's got the chops, I suppose.
He got the job, and he listened to it twice, and then he said, "All right, let's record." And then, most of the time it was one take.
And that's what we call a professional.
Exactly. The only thing I had to tell him were the beginnings and the end.
Oh yeah, just to let them know when to start and when to stop. Yeah. Which is pretty important, I imagine.
It's very important.
That's very cool. So let's talk a little bit about the mix on this record. It's a real. You managed to achieve a real clean, clear, spacious almost mix where you can hear every part crisp and cleanly. There's not too many. I mean, because of the arrangements themselves, there's not a lot of like heavy synths or distorted sounds or any of that stuff that has a tendency to take up a lot of space. So you had the ability to do a little bit more precise placements of some of the things in your mix. What kind of techniques did you get into? What kind of troubles did you run into? Just talk a little bit about the mix.
Yeah, sure. Well, I was sitting at home with all these tracks, 16 from the drums alone.
Oh yeah.
And I didn't know what to do. I had done a few things before, but I was really lost. So that's why you came in such a good time with mix lessons. And I started with your video actually. So I had 10 tracks, totally unorganized, totally a mess actually. Mm-hmm. So I did everything you said on the first few videos. So I organized all the tracks, routed them in the right way, and that gave such a relief in the beginning because now I had a goal, I had structure, I knew what I was doing.
Yeah, it takes away some of the overwhelm.
Oh, and the tiredness as well, because you get so tired just doing things you don't know what you are doing.
Yes.
So that helped a lot. And I took your song from Stacey Bannon, if I'm correct. Yeah.
Yep, Stacey Bannon.
Stacey Bannon. And, well, all the tracks you hear on this record are based on that song and how it was mixed.
Okay.
Of course, I tweaked it a little bit here and there. But in the beginning, I did everything you said. I just followed your lead. And, well, that turned out really good. And,
they certainly did turn out good. I'll give you that. Absolutely.
Yeah, and then I started to get a little bit more information from Pensado's Place. And you know where that is.
Pensado's Place. For those of you who don't know, give yourself a quick smack and go and Google it. Pensado's Place is very, very good. Free information, an hour every week. So carry on.
It's unbelievable. And I went to because you told me to watch those shows, and I did, and especially into the layer. Mm-hmm. Well, he was talking about reverb and delays and the compression, and well, I took notes and I applied it this to these mixes, and well, I did the Haas effect here and there, and well. So the Stacey Bannon was the base, and I went from there. And in about 4 months, I had to learn a lot, of course.
Yes.
It was my first mix in my life. 4 or 5 months it took to really tweak everything. But then at a certain point, I thought, now I have to stop because, as Pensado said, so many plug-ins, so little time.
Yeah, that's true.
There are. When do you stop? That was my question at a certain point. I had done everything what you said about dimensions and about panning and all these things and I used about 4 plugins, I think, not too many. But then I had to stop because otherwise you can go on and on and on forever.
Yeah,
it can always be a little bit better.
And what do you consider to be a good signal, for yourself when it's time to stop, export, print, and send to mastering?
Good signal. Well, I stopped listening it for a while because I thought it was finished, but I didn't know for sure. But then I stopped for, let's say, 4 weeks listening to it because you know these songs very well at a certain moment. Mm-hmm. You are getting used to your own sound, and so I had to step back. I stepped back, and then when I came back, I heard immediately what was wrong, And also, what I did in the meantime, I put it in the Mixed Lessons forum, the songs.
Oh, yes.
Because I needed some feedback. I mean, I thought it was pretty good, but how about the rest of the world? And they you remarked, and that was very helpful about balance and about the singer being too much on the front. And I corrected all these things.
And it's nice to hear that that you take advantage of the community there, because there's quite a few members in at Mixed Lessons. For those people who don't know, we have a mastermind forums where people can discuss and share tips and tricks and so forth. And there's quite a few people who sort of participate passively as sort of a fly on the wall and too shy to show off their work or what have you. But you really get the most out of it when you just suck it up and post your mixes and be prepared for the constructive and comments and critique. Everyone's pretty cool inside that mastermind community, so there's no forum trolls or anything like that, so you can rest assured. But you took advantage, you got some helpful critique, and you went back to the lab and applied it and ended up with a great sounding record, and in part because of some of the feedback that you got. Exactly.
I was shy in the beginning as well in the forum. I watched all the others in the beginning. And then I posted my first song, and I was waiting for the comment anxiously. But they everybody is very kind, which is nice. They are not they're telling me what they think, really. Mm-hmm. But in a positive way, and that is very nice.
Yeah, and hopefully everyone is there for the same purpose, and so that's the reason why you get such good conversation and dialogue inside a place like that, and that's very cool. So, okay, well, you've got this record. We're going to play a track in a minute. I just wanted to sort of wrap up the chit-chat by asking if you could give one tip or piece of advice to somebody who's just getting into music production, home recording, mixing, anything that, these topics that we love to talk about, just starting out. What do you think it would be? Be it like a piece of gear or a technique or a philosophy? What comes to mind?
Well, I think the most important thing I learned is to end things, to end the track. There are too many musicians, I think, who just start with a beginning and they have a nice bridge. But see it through. Finish that one song and give yourself a deadline. Let's say 6 weeks, and then you have to finish this song. That really helped me.
Absolutely.
Of course, you need some gear. You need a good microphone and all these things. But I see so many musicians around me who are just not finishing their songs. They just don't. And I know they can, but they say it's not good enough or blah, blah, blah. Mm-hmm. And they don't finish it. And they go on for years and years with all these unfinished songs.
Which is a tragedy.
It's a tragedy. So that's my,
that is good advice. And the other thing to add to that is if you don't finish your tunes, you're never going to have that 10-to-1 ratio. You're going to write 10 tunes before you find one in that stack that's a good one, that's a keeper. So if you're not finishing any of them, you're never going to find those keepers.
Exactly.
That's excellent advice. Listen, Justus, I appreciate you hanging out and chit-chatting with us today. Right. Is there a website where people can go yet? Is it up that people can check out your record? Where can we send them?
To dutchgroove.nl. And L stands for the Netherlands.
dutchgroove.nl, and I'll put that in the show notes or in the description, wherever it is I post this content.
All right.
Fantastic. Thanks a lot, my friend, and we'll see you in the forums. Take care.
All right. Bye-bye.
'cause I don't like